Hello and welcome to another Ark tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about what you need to do to prepare yourself for caves on any map. Caves are some of the most difficult challenges you'll face on the Ark, and you'll have to take them seriously, else meet a merciless end. There's a lot of things to go over today, so we're going to break this video down into sections so you can soak up all the info. I'll leave timestamps for each section in case there's something you need immediately, but before we jump into the video, I want to let you know I stream Ark every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you follow me there so you can get more tips, tricks, and gameplay. So put on your thinking cap, it's time to learn! There are two types of caves in Ark: resource caves and progression caves. Resource caves are mostly self-explanatory. They house an abundance of valuable resources for you to collect, like metal, crystal, and obsidian, and may or may not have loot drops depending on the cave. If you plan on raiding these caves, it's smart to bring dinos with you if they'll fit, so you can haul as many valuables out of them as possible. Progression caves are similar because they too house many valuable resources. However, their main point is that they're home to artifacts, which are special items that are used to summon bosses when placed in an obelisk with other artifacts, and are essentially the key to beating any map in Ark. Progression caves also have late game loot crates where you can find upgraded gear and blueprints to make life easier on the Ark. Pro tip, the Ark wiki has all the information you need on coordinates to each cave location on each map and where to find the artifacts you're looking for. I'll eventually have videos on all cave locations for each map, but for now, that's a great resource. There will be many hardships to face when cave diving, particularly cave-dwelling creatures, so let's talk about some of those. If you've played Ark before, you know that caves are dangerous places full of awful creatures that want nothing more than to kill and eat you. Some of the dinos in caves have many different tactics for doing so, and you'll have to make sure you're prepared to handle their attacks because you're 100% guaranteed to encounter them at some point. Let's go over some of these creatures so you know what to do when you inevitably run into them. Arthropleuras are hideous creepy crawlies that spit their own acidic blood at you, which does damage and breaks your armor instantly. To make matters worse, if you try and combat an Arthropleura with a spear or other melee weapons, bad idea. Its acidic blood will spew onto you, dealing damage. Arthropleuras can gang up on you with other creatures found in caves, making you easy prey if you're not careful. I recommend bringing firearms to deal with these creatures, as you can deal loads of damage from a distance and easily avoid their spit. Additionally, you'll need extra armor in case they do end up sneaking up on you and break it all, which honestly has happened to me more times than I can count. This can get a bit expensive, but it's more efficient to go into caves prepared as opposed to dying inside and losing your gear. These are tameable creatures and can be useful in PvP as support dinos to break other players' armor. They're pretty nasty though, and I can't imagine anyone actually taking the time out of their day to tame them. But to each their own, I guess. There are also Aranea, or spiders, that launch a web at you to decrease your visibility and movement speed. Typically, these creatures are more of a nuisance than anything, but a group of them paired with any other cave creature makes for a difficult situation. They aren't particularly powerful, but they can knock you off ledges and tranquilize you with their main bite attack, so make sure you either have a good amount of fortitude or that you bring some stimulants to avoid falling asleep. I, again, recommend bringing firearms along to deal with these guys. Spiders are actually tameable creatures too, but you can't mount them, so I wouldn't really worry too much about that unless you like spiders for some strange reason. You'll find numerous Titanoboas in nearly every cave you explore, but fortunately they aren't very difficult to deal with, since a few shotgun blasts to the face usually end up killing them pretty quickly. However, you should still be careful because, like the spider, they deal torpor damage and can quickly put you to sleep if you aren't careful. These are actually important creatures in Ark though, because their eggs are used to make superior kibble, a kibble that will increase taming effectiveness of most dinos and decrease tame times. You can tame these guys by dropping a fertilized egg in front of them, and you actually might want to tame a few of them to amass a collection of their eggs. Lastly, you'll run into a fair amount of bats in the depths of caves. Bats are quite a nuisance and have caused me to die deep inside caves on several occasions. They have a decent health pool, so they'll take a fair amount of firepower to deal with. If you let them bite you, they have a chance of giving you highly contagious mega rabies, which drains your health and stamina over time and can actually infect your tamed dinos, as well as other players around you if you get too close to them. This can be countered by increasing your fortitude stat or simply disposing of the onyx before they're able to bite you. Personally, I like to use snipers to deal with these creatures from afar since they're quite large and easily visible from a distance. These are tameable as well, but they're passive tames and require a lot of careful work to tame, with no real value in my opinion. Probably not worth your time. You might be thinking, damn, that's a lot of creatures to deal with. Will I even be able to go cave diving? Well, the simple answer is yes. Because bug repellent actually makes all of these creatures passive except for the Titanoboa. Just don't touch them and you can slip past gobs of enemies easily. So it's your choice. Get the XP from killing a large amount of enemies, but have to take many more supplies with you and have a greater chance of dying, or simply use bug repellent to run past the hordes. I very much enjoy killing things in games, so I don't typically go the bug repellent route, but if you're looking for quick success, that's probably the route you want to take. Okay, so we talked about a lot of things you'll need to bring with you for successful caving, but there are a few extra things you'll need when you're about to cave dive, so let's go over that now. Since caves are so dangerous, you should have medical brews with you to regain health quickly in case something goes wrong, which, let's be honest, things will probably go wrong. Medical brews are fairly easy to make, only requiring water, tinto berries, and spoiled meat to make. Additionally, you'll need stimulants to avoid falling asleep, which are made with stimberries and spark powder. Be careful though, because stimulants drain your water by 15 points with each stimulant consumed. That being said, it's important to bring more food and water than you think you'll need, even if you're not using stimulants, because caves can be intensely hot and intensely cold, and you'll need to make sure you're staying nourished throughout your adventure. Furthermore, you'll need to bring some firearms with you, preferably a shotgun and a sniper, but any other firearm will do. Running a cave with melee weapons is just straight up a bad idea. Remember that you can add attachments to firearms, so make sure you're applying a flashlight attachment to at least one gun, because caves can be ridiculously dark, making sneaky cave creatures a real threat. A hefty amount of ammo for whatever guns you decide to bring is highly recommended as well, since there's a lot of potential for you to use more ammo than you think you'll need. Since we're on the topic of weapons, I recommend bringing a crossbow, grappling hooks, and parachutes with you, since some caves are simply untraversable without them. Don't forget your backup armor in case those nasty Arthropleuras decide to spit at you and break what you're wearing. Did you get all that? Okay, so the last thing I wanted to get into today is your intentions. Why are you cave diving? Do you just want to explore, get XP, loot, and resources? Do you want to collect artifacts to beat the map? If you're just exploring or cave diving for fun, then this video is pretty much done for you. But if you're trying to beat the game, then there's a few other things to think about. When you're bringing artifacts to an obelisk to fight a boss, there are 3 levels of bosses you can fight: Gamma, Beta, and Alpha, or easy, medium, and hard, respectively. Each time you fight a boss on a different difficulty, you'll unlock different tech engrams. You won't get the same tech engrams for each level of boss you fight, so you'll need a lot of artifacts on hand to fight the progressive difficulties. There's a trick to collecting these artifacts that most players, even well-seasoned players, don't know about. The Otter. The Otter is the only creature in the entire game that can carry multiples of the same artifact in its inventory. This allows you to grab an artifact, load it into the Otter, wait for the same artifact to respawn, and put that same artifact into your Otter. You can do this an unlimited amount of times so long as the Otter has the carry weight for it. This is perfect if you want to ascend to all 3 levels, Gamma, Beta, and Alpha. Could you accomplish the same task with multiple survivors? Of course, but even if you had a lot of friends with you to collect artifacts, it may be more efficient to send one player into each progression cave with otters, grab as many artifacts as possible, and return to base boss ready. It's important to note that otters can't hold any artifacts on Ark Mobile, so if that's the version you're playing on, you'll have to take the long route and do multiple cave runs. But hopefully the information I've provided in this video today can help you do that quickly and safely. So tell me, do you feel prepared for caves now? Did you even know that caves were a thing? I'm interested to know. They're some of the most fun areas in the game to explore, and I personally love the challenge, especially if it's a cave I haven't yet explored. If you have any questions about caves, bosses, or anything else Ark related, feel free to ask me on stream or in the comments below. I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays on Twitch around 8 p.m. Central Time. Don't forget to like the video if you found the information helpful, and subscribe to the channel for more Ark tutorials. It really helps me out. I truly appreciate your time today. I wish you all the best, and we'll see you in the next